This morning and said, "How you doing, Pastor?" And I had my head down and I was looking on the desk and I said, "I'm fine. I'm reading Maslow." He said, "You're reading Maslow?" I said, "Yes." He looked at me. I guess he thought I should have been reading the Bible this morning, getting ready for the sermon. But the truth of the matter is that the Bible is theory, but we live in a practical world. We've got to deal with some real stuff. And Maslow's theory of the hierarchy of needs, he talks about the primal need of man. Over and above food, water, shelter, and clothing, Maslow says in his hierarchy of need is that there's a psychological need, there's a need for safety, there's a need for love and belonging, there's a need to be esteemed, and at the top of his pyramid, there's this need for self-actualization. Now, all of these are our physical needs, stuff that we need physically just to feel good about ourselves. And to understand that, we can understand the tactics of the devil. Because the devil will never attack you spiritually. I know I just missed some people. The devil's not going to attack you spiritually because he can't defeat you spiritually. The only thing that the devil has control of, or at least the resources to deal with, is your flesh. Because you came from the ground. And when you came from the ground, if we really understand Genesis chapter 2, chapter 3, and following, the devil was given charge when he was kicked out of heaven of the earth. And so he came, and when he approached Eve, he did not approach Eve, if you will, from a spiritual perspective. He began to deal with her intellectually, and he began to deal with her physically. He said to her when he walked up, he says, "Did God say that you could eat every tree, eat of the fruit of every tree of the garden?" She says, "Yeah." He did say that, with one exception. We cannot eat of that fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. For in the day we eat it, we shall surely die. He says to her, "Oh, God knows you shall not surely die. But your eyes will be open, and you will be as God, knowing good and evil." Now, we can very easily be the Monday morning quarterbacks. We can very easily sit and critique this story from our vantage point. But the truth of the matter is, all Satan did, all the serpent did in that moment was cause Eve to rethink what God has said. And if the devil can get you to rethink what God has said, he's already got you. Watch the pattern. Watch the pattern. What did God say? Did God say you could eat of all of the fruit of the fruit of the trees in the garden? Yeah, he said we could eat all of it, with one exception. We cannot eat of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. God said that. She admitted that that's what God said. She knew that that's what God said. She knew it to the point that she was able to quote God. She knew it. But the moment the serpent says, "Well, that's not what God really meant," she said, "Well, let me take another look at it." And instead of looking at what God said, she looked at the fruit. Once she looked at the fruit, then the text says, when she saw that it was pleasing to the eye. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't offensive. It wasn't an ugly fruit. It wasn't detestable. It wasn't something that stuck her when she touched it. She saw that it was pleasing to the eye. And once she saw that it was pleasing to the eye, then she noticed, secondly, that it could be used for food. It had some usefulness. Then thirdly, used to make one wise. Then she took of it and she ate it. I raise all of that to push my point here in Matthew chapter 4. Because after Jesus in the flesh had been led into the wilderness, he was there 40 days without anything to eat. Here comes the devil. And the first thing that the devil raises is the question of what God has said. Look at the text. Look right here at the text.
Right there.
The first thing he says when he comes, he says, verse 3, and the tempter came to him and said, if you are the Son of God. Who declared him to be the Son of God? God did. God did in the waiting verses of Matthew chapter 3 at the baptism of Jesus. The skies or the heavens opened up, a dove descended, and God said, this is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. Now mind y'all, Jesus knew it before that day, but now it was declared to the whole world by God that this is my beloved Son in whom I am well pleased. And here comes the devil. If what God said is true, then you ought to have some liberty. You ought to be able to do some stuff. There ought to be some benefits to you because of what God has said about you. And I just want to see, I just want to see if you really got what God said about you. Come on now. If, conditional. If you are the Son of God, if you are who God said you are, watch this, he brings into question what God has said, then he attaches it to Jesus' human need. His basic primal need for food. He said, you're hungry, your belly is crying out, your flesh is crying out for food. If you're who God said you are, then you have power over these rocks. If God is true, this is theory. If God is true, then there ought to be some corresponding stuff that's true about your life, Jesus, and about your life as a believer. If it's true, then you have the power, because God is omnipotent, he's omnipresent, he's omniscient, he has all power, he's everywhere, and he knows all things. And if you're his offspring, I feel like hollering already. If you're his offspring, then the very same thing that he has, the very same thing in God's DNA, guess what, is in your DNA. Everything that God has as an heir, as his only son, the only one that has right to everything God has, you have it if you are this Son of God. Prove it. Prove the statement, Jesus, and take care of your own need. Come on now. Turn these stones into bread. You got power over the earth. You have power over the stuff on the earth. I mean, God created the earth. Genesis chapter 1, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth, right? He gave everything form. He gave everything substance. He gave everything purpose. And you are his only begotten Son. He said it. You didn't say it. He said it. Prove his statement. Take command, take dominion, take power over these stones and turn them into something that will be useful to you. All right. See, the first thing in overcoming or withstanding the temptations of the devil is understanding his tactics. All right.
Yes, sir. Okay.
You got to understand how he's going to come at you. And when we compare Genesis chapter 3 and Matthew chapter 4, we get the first Adam's temptation and the second Adam, or the last Adam's temptation, and it's the same. there's no change in the devil's tactics. You know why there's no change? Because he's been successful. Mother Flippin, it's been working for him. And we just keep on falling for the same thing over and over and over and over again. Well, aren't you glad that grace still abounds in our lives? Even when we fall, God's love catches us. Here he comes and he says in verse 3, if you are the Son of God, turn these stones into bread so you can have something to eat. What I like about it is that, unlike Eve, Jesus doesn't take another look at the rock.
Ooh, bitch.
He doesn't take another look at the rock. Because if he had taken another look at the rock, it probably would have showed up as a nice loaf of sourdough. Because your mind begins to play tricks on you. Y'all heard of people being in the desert seeing mirages? And you know what? For a long time, I thought that was a mirage. But I had an opportunity a few years ago to fly to Las Vegas for a conference, a religious conference in Las Vegas, go figure. It was. And after I finished that Friday, that Sunday morning, I was preaching in Los Angeles. So I decided to drive from Las Vegas to Los Angeles. Beautiful drive. I'm driving, and y'all know I love water, I love fishing. And I'm just driving, and I see this lake. And it just wouldn't end. I was like, man, why ain't there no boats on this lake? I'm just driving, trying to find the station. I find the station, and I'm listening to the station, and it's desert radio. And it dawned on me that I wasn't looking at a lake. I was looking at the rays of the sun bouncing off the desert sand and creating waves that made it look like a lake. And what really brought it home for me was when I looked through the rearview mirror, I didn't see the lake. And so I realized, y'all, my mind was playing tricks on me. Jesus said, listen, immediately Jesus says to him, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes forth or proceeds out of the mouth of God. Watch this. The first thing that Jesus does is not to consider what the devil has said. That's the first thing. He doesn't engage in his mind what the devil has said about the rocks. He didn't even entertain it. He didn't look at it and say, well, you know, I am kind of hungry. And if I just change this little pebble, instead of getting a whole loaf, I'll just get a biscuit. I mean, in reality, and I said theoretically and practically because practically this is what we do. I ain't going to do the whole big loaf, but just let me get a couple of crumbs, I'll be all right. Instead of having a whole sandwich, just give me half of it. All right. He didn't even entertain it. He didn't even entertain his need. Did Jesus know he was hungry? Absolutely. After 40 days, he knew he was hungry. And it was a real temptation because it was a real need. But instead of entertaining or considering what the devil said, here's what Jesus does. It is written. It is written. God has declared. And what I like about it when I read this, he doesn't even question or try to justify what God said. He doesn't say, yeah, I am the Son of God. See, positions and our power and our title. Like that's going to do something. The devil already brought that into play. You got the title, you got the position, you got the power. Do something with your position and your power for you. Because that's what we do with it.
Huh.
Try to help nobody else out. We try to build ourselves up. You've already fallen into the trap. Jesus doesn't even address the if question. He says, it is written that man shall not live by natural means. Whether it be physical bread or the physical commendations that you try to give me to blow up my head. Man should not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of God. See, one of the reasons that we fast is to deny our humanity of those basic primal needs. I'm not going to let you control me, but I'm going to allow God to control me because he created me. I come to understand this whole thing about fasting. My elementary understanding of fasting was just about food. But I come to the place in my life that when I deal with these 40 days of Lent, there's some folk I have to fast. Come on now. Yeah. I don't mean that in a negative aspect. Whatever you decide to fast, it's got to be something that's going to be a sacrifice to you, that's going to be hard for you to sacrifice that you're going to miss. Amen. And that might mean that you have some relationships that have such a priority in your life that you can't see anything else other than that relationship. Jesus has a relationship with God. And God declares his relationship about Jesus when he says, this is my beloved son in whom I'm well pleased. And immediately he is led by the Spirit of God into the wilderness to be alone. So not only is he without physical food, he is also without that connection with his Father. And so he's weak. He's vulnerable. Here's the second tactic of the devil. He's always going to come when you're at your weakest point. Yes. He ain't going to show up during Sunday morning service while Pastor Clark is preaching. Because you're getting empowered then. Yes. But as soon as the benediction, sometimes even before the benediction, before you get out the door, he's definitely in the parking lot waiting for you. He won't be out there today because ain't nobody standing around because they get in their car and leaving. But he always comes at us at our weakest point because he knows that we are vulnerable. And he comes with what we need at our point of vulnerability. Oh, yeah. Jesus, you're hungry. Whether you know it or not, or whether you want to admit it or not, the devil knows what you need even before you do. He knows what you like. He knows the flavor of the ice cream. He knows the scent of the perfume or the cologne. Oh, yeah. He knows that you like them tall, dark, and handsome. He knows. And when you're at your weakest point, he sends to you just what you like. Come on now. I tell people all the time, I made this mistake one time in my life. I sat down and I wrote a list of what characteristics I was looking for. And no sooner did I finish that list and fold it up, there was a knock at my door. He knows what you like. And he's going to send it to you. My dad used to say this all the time, and I tell y'all my dad was not a formally educated person. He had a whole lot of theory, but he had a whole lot of practical knowledge and what we call common sense that ain't really common. My dad used to say this all the time. He says, everything that glitters. He said, everything that looks good ain't question who you really are. That's all in the first temptation. We are always in a place, as it relates to our needs, we need our needs provided for. We need our needs, whatever they are, our basic primal needs, our needs of food and shelter and all those things, clothing. And then Maslow says we also have a need of acceptance. We have a need to be loved and wanted. And I feel that one of the harshest realities for the church is this feeling of rejection. That when people come to the church and are rejected, it's a different kind of hurt. It's a hurt that is deep. But you have people who have been hurt by church that will leave the church and will never come back to the church ever again. Not just this church, but any church. Because this is the institution where love and acceptance is the status of the day. Regardless of what you've been through, regardless of what you're going through, regardless of your status or your station, you ought to be able to find love and acceptance in the house. I mean, come on, sin is sin. And maybe we're not doing the Jeffrey Dahmers of the world. Maybe we're not doing like those parents that they just arrested that had all those kids locked in the basement. Maybe we're not doing all of that. And maybe we think that we're not so bad because we're not doing that. But can I wake you up this morning? Sin is sin.
Sin is sin. Yes.
Whether you're lying at 175 2nd Avenue or killing somebody on the other side of town, sin is sin to God, and you're going to have to deal with the penalty. For the wages of sin is death. All of us are subject to it. And we find ourselves in that place where we're looking for status and position, and it doesn't matter who we step on our way up. The first business principle I learned in school was watch who you step on your way up, because you may need them on your way back down. My sons and I had the privilege of going to, y'all know that I'm an Eagle fan, been an Eagle fan for a long time. I'm not just a today Eagle fan. I mean, I've been through bad weather with them, literally. But we went to the parade and we were watching these people climb up in the tree so they could get a better vantage point. And we watched this one young man who was shaded in ebony climb up the tree. And after he passed the limb, he would break it off and wave it in the air. And so we all pulled out our cell phones. Because we knew that he was going to have to come back down. And the limbs that he used to get up wasn't going to be there on his way down. And we go to the record of it. Watch who you step on your way up. Watch how you treat people to get your position or your title or your status. Because in the Black Baptist Church, we have term limits. You ain't always going to be in that position. You're not always going to have that title. That's right. Provisions, physical hunger. Here he is saying to Jesus, if you are the Son of God, God will provide your basic need. Y'all, I can't even go to the other two, so I'll just stay right here. We'll deal with the other two or the next one next week. Here he is dealing with our hunger, that desire when your belly is grumbling. And here's something physiologically that takes place when you're hungry. That when you don't feed your belly, your body will start eating on itself. Yes. Am I right up there? That's part of the reason why we exercise and we change our diet, so that we help our body eat the fat. these things. How can I stand up here and preach to you about being healthy and I'm overweight? How can I tell you how to live right or overcome when I'm struggling? I can give you some helpful hints. I can tell you what the theory is, but you need to understand I'm struggling just like you in the practical standpoint. How do I take this stuff off the page and apply it to my life? And the truth of the matter is, and I'm sure you'll say amen, it's easier said. But if I know how he's coming, I at least have a step ahead of the game. Doesn't mean I'm always going to win. Doesn't mean I'm going to overcome. But at least I know how he's coming. And so when I feel myself being weak, I know he's coming. Without a shadow of a doubt, I know he's coming. When I got more bills than money, I know he's coming. I know he's coming. Why? Because it's a point of weakness in my life. And the truth of the matter is, even when we know death is coming, doesn't change the fact when they say that our loved one is dead, that we don't have an emotional response. I know it's coming, but I have to deal with it when it gets here, because the truth of the matter is, I don't know how it's going to show up. I know what my need is, but I don't know how he's going to show up. But I do know that when he shows up, he's going to question what I know about my relationship with God. If you are a child of God, are you really saved? I mean, you do know you had a beer last night. Are you really saved? You know you got angry with that person who cut you off on the Southern State, and you said some things. Are you really saved? The child of God